Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Now Show, where we get to the heart of the matter and focus on conscious conversations. Today, we are speaking with Natalie Brewer. She is such a goddess. She makes all my flower crowns, and she is so in tune to the essence of the female energy and has really started her path of committing to waking up the woman inside of her. And as we know, or as we're learning, is that the female feminine energy is in everyone. We all have masculine and female energy inside of us. So there's so much we can learn from her, even if you're a male. Today, we are talking about vaginas and the womb and coming into our essence, and also talking about vaginal steaming and how herbs can heal scar tissue and things that are going on in our body. So, thank you so much, Natalie, for connecting with me today and for sharing your wisdom. Here we go. Welcome, Natalie. Thank you
Hi.
so much for taking the time to come back. Our first podcast we did was when you were offering your dance.
Yes.
And those, it was like the four elements dancing, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked that podcast. I was like, after that, I'm like, I know we're going to do so much more because we have so much more to share with like movement and forms of
Yeah.
expression and things that people are like curious about and maybe haven't tried yet but want to. And I also had like an intention for going into this new year for my podcast or just things that I'm offering is I want like women, men, anyone that finds these things to be like when they're watching it, it's just like two friends talking and they feel like they're in on the conversation talking too. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, like it's fun and like we're saying what we mean and what we think and we're not like worried what someone's gonna think about it. Like, and then just kind of giving them that energy too.
Mm-hmm.
So having you on is like totally aligning with the best friend goals of talking.
Yes. I
I
love
love
it.
I would love if you could share just a little an intro into who you are, what you're offering, and maybe like some of the new services that you're also providing.
Sure. So I'm based in Fredericton, New Brunswick, but I offer lots of my services online. And these days, my focus is on women in particular, helping them receive the skills and what they need to feel empowered in their lives. And I find that's often about bringing them back to themselves. So helping them remember who they are. So sometimes that involves going into places that can feel a little intimidating. things,
Yes.
things like dancing and things like vaginal steaming, which is one of the services I offer. But reconnecting with movement helps us connect with that inner body wisdom we all have. And reconnecting with our vaginas and our womb spaces is just another layer of that. So connecting with what's inside of us, that power inside of us that can guide us to feel healthy, to feel happy, to live joyfully, abundantly, have fun, and to let it be with ease. So that's what I'm here to offer.
Oh, I love it. I really feel like we should get everyone as like an activity to do on their own time is to say the word vagina 10 times.
I love it.
Like just go say it. Like even if you're a man, like go say it. Like if you're a woman, just go say it 10 times. Like I feel like they're like all these like code words, like tippy toeing around the word. It's like vagina, it's beautiful. We have one. Like
Yes, we came
it's
from
not,
one.
yeah, like the word shouldn't be a shocker. Like
Exactly. Yeah, I
there
love
shouldn't
that
be.
idea.
Yeah, so that could be like a little activity for everyone after you're done listening to this. Go and
Yes,
just say vagina 10 times or more times if you want to, silently
yes.
or out loud, just embracing that word. So,
Yes, for sure. And if you're a creative person, write it out and start like drawing
ooh,
what relates to that for you and put it on your wall or your journal, wherever, so you have that awareness and connection.
and there is some beautiful vagina art out there.
Yes. Yes.
Like, I literally have like a dream in my mind someday to like make almost like a room for women, whether they're coming for like Reiki or coaching, or like we're just doing a special class, and we like get that art out. And it's like you're moving and doing activities like amongst that, like just
Mm.
the power of like having the art of the vaginas around you that other women or maybe men also have created for the expression. I think that'd be so powerful.
That is super powerful. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I look forward to being in
Oh,
that room.
yeah, we'll totally do that. Like
Yeah.
sometime we'll, it's now that we're doing this event coming up that we'll talk about, it's like sometime we'll organize an event like that as like an add-on to
Yes.
people that want to come for those things.
That sounds awesome.
So what got you first like looking into what vaginal steaming is? What called you to that?
Well, I have a strong connection to nature, and I'm a gardener, and I love herbs and herbal medicine. And I went to a women's summit where someone was selling vaginal steaming herbs, and I thought, this is what I want to grow in my garden.
Aww.
I'm just gonna have a vaginal steam herb garden. But
Yes.
but prior to that, a friend of mine was offering vaginal steam herbs, and she had mentioned the benefits of it. And right away, things just click sometimes, and you feel that inner excitement of like, this is something for me. And it was also like, this is something for everyone, for all women. Like, why aren't we taking care of our vaginas? There's so much information out there about nutrition, and, there's all kinds of different coaching. Are there any vaginal coaches? I'd love to meet them if there are.
Yeah.
But a method of self-care that attends to our vagina and our wombs, that's extremely powerful. And we know the benefits of the Western medical system and how that has benefited women, but we're learning that there can be other ways to supplement that, and other ways that can really benefit women in that area in particular, because it's such a vulnerable area. And I've noticed often gynecologists, not all the time, but many gynecologists are men, and that's fine. But for some women, to have something that feels more feminine for them, something they can connect with other women around, or connect with a woman practitioner around, something they can offer themselves, that's an empowering experience to have. So for some people, that'll be solely what they need, and other people, it'll be something they use on top of their gynecologist's recommendations and advice.
I love that. This may
Yeah.
be like a little bit personal, so feel
Yes.
free to like share what you want with this question or not.
Hmm.
For your own healing, were you finding that you were having like symptoms or signs or blockages within, say, the sacral root, any of those chakras,
Mm-hmm.
vagina, that area, that you're like, okay, like I need to tune in more into what these areas of my body are saying, and I need someone to help guide me through that? Like, if you feel comfortable sharing about that, please
Yeah,
do. If not, whatever you feel.
for sure. Yeah. So I'm definitely an emotional, watery being. All second
Same.
chakra. Second chakra is very much associated with the water element and our emotions. And it was part of the process of, again, coming back to knowing myself. It's like all these blinders were put on as to who I was and as to what path I was to take in life. And then when I started taking those blinders away and became more and more attuned with myself and my body, I noticed I was holding a lot of tension in my second chakra, my sacral chakra. And I noticed if my breath wasn't flowing well, if I wasn't able to take deep breaths, a lot of the time it was because there was that holding there in my womb space. And so that was spreading sort of throughout my body. So some of that was muscular tension, some of it was emotional tension, the emotions I was holding there, and not honoring myself as this watery, emotional, fluid being, but instead going down this strict path that really wasn't working for me, for my heart, for my body, for my womb, and who I was. And I was experiencing PMS symptoms. I didn't always have them, but I started getting really bad cramping. I started having headaches. I was starting to feel nausea. pain in my legs, just really heavy and uncomfortable when my period came. I was also noticing a lot of irritation around my period, just feeling irritated
Yes.
by it arriving, and having to do everything I needed to do during that 5 days to take care of it. And
Yes.
so I started going into where that came from. And it was these ideas and these beliefs we have around being a woman, and this sort of irritation I had around, in my mind at the time, what that meant. So being a woman, I had ideas of being a woman means I can't do this, or I can't make as much money as so-and-so, or, you know, I have to remain smaller than so-and-so, or I can't speak up, you know, all these deep things around being a woman. And then when I started embracing what was there, what I was noticing, and who I was, the tension and the energy started to move. So I started busting through all those beliefs. I was like, fuck no.
Yeah.
I'm not going for those anymore. And that came through a process of working with many different practitioners, also reading Wild Feminine by Tammy Lynn Kent. It's like an
I ordered
amazing
it.
book. Yeah, I recommend it for all women.
I'm going to read it.
Yeah, and then starting the practice of vaginal steaming. That really helped me connect physically with that space, but then also emotionally and energetically. And it was like I started like looking at her. So instead of feeling like she was something to be ashamed of or hiding from her, I started fully looking at her and taking her in and thinking, if this part of my body is this beautiful, then the rest of my body is too, and so am I. That's just how it is.
Yes.
So it feels good to be walking in a body now where I'm embracing more of that piece of me. It feels powerful. And to me, I think that was part of the missing link as well.
Perfect. So what does a session look like? Like, we'll talk about one-on-one first, and then we'll jump into the group event. So like, I know I've had an appointment with you and a steam. So what would someone expect, like, coming to you? Like, even just first emailing you, what's the initial process, and just kind of walk us through that.
Sure. So if you connect with me, what I'll do is send you my intake form, and I'll take a look over that. And then there's two things we can do from there one-on-one. So we can do a short email consultation, which will give you just the basics and what you need to steam at home. Or we can go into a full one-on-one consultation, which is done online via video chat or by phone. And that goes in deeper. So there we can start to have a real conversation about what's going on and where you would like to get to, how you would like to feel. And then we can start to explore. I like to incorporate a little movement to get you into your body. We do a womb meditation. And then if you aren't contraindicated at the time, so if you're good to go for a vaginal steam, I'll walk you through the whole process of getting set up. And then once the call is finished, you can experience your first V-steam. We'll get started on herbs for you if that's something you want for your vaginal steam. You don't always have to steam with herbs, but I find it's really a lovely way to connect with nature and plant medicine. And then also with the consultation, I do offer a few check-ins afterwards once your practice is set up and going, if you have any questions.
Perfect. So we're doing an event together. And it's going to be a combination of yoga and the V-steaming. And I know a lot of people have questions where it's a group. So maybe just sharing what that would look like. And Jen later said to me, sorry, I just kind of came off and made that comment on your post. I'm like, no, I love that you're like, are we just going to be sitting around naked? Like, that's a good question to ask.
I didn't see that, but I love that question. We need these questions, right?
Is that what we're going to be doing? And I was like, I love that you asked that, because I'm sure other people are wondering, like, do I have a divider? Like, am I just sitting there? Like, and I love that she said that. So I think it did get deleted. Like, she deleted it, but then I connected us through that email. But I thought that was such a good initial question. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, because
So
especially in
just
our area. Go ahead.
yeah, so just share with us, like in a group setting, how that's going to be sacred and wonderful.
Yeah, yeah. So in our area of Fredericton, New Brunswick, there's not many people who have heard about bee steaming. And it's
Hmm.
great to see the people who have are like, yes, I'm so like ready to try this out. So excited about sharing it. So
Hmm.
after we do some yoga with you and we get into our bodies, what I'm going to do is invite everyone to change into a skirt. So I'm going to ask them to bring a skirt with them. And that way the skirt will be covering you the whole time. So that's how we are going to be steaming, not in the nude, no nudity involved.
Hmm.
So for that portion, I'll talk about bee steaming, how it originated, what the benefits are, how it can benefit you. And then I'm going to guide you again through the process of steaming safely. So there's lots of reading and lots of ideas about how to steam out there, but there's a safe way to do it and a way that's not necessarily safe. So
Hmm.
again, when someone registers for the class, they're going to receive an intake form from me, and then I will be guiding everyone through the process, but keeping in mind individual needs as we go.
Hmm.
So other thing they'll need to bring is a small pot or bowl, and I'm going to have the herbs all ready for us, and then I'm going to provide you with the steam and the herbs you need. And we'll use that pot in the bowl, and we'll put that underneath of us. So we'll either be squatting over that or kneeling, or for some of you, if you need to stand, that's fine too. Some people are uncomfortable on their knees. And we'll experience the vaginal steaming together. So it'll be 10 minutes max. That's the typical amount for new people and for people who might have particular sensitivities to be aware of. And during
Hmm.
that time, they'll be able to answer questions. I'll let them know what they need to look for and watch for. We'll do a womb meditation, and then we'll finish off the V-steam by lying down and resting in a Shavasana. So often steaming is great to do right before bed because the benefits just continue as you sleep. So we'll take a little mini rest, a mini sleep after our steaming, and then I'll be open to answer any more questions there might be.
Oh, that sounds so nice.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And like a steam and then a rest and the
Mhm.
meditation. I'm like, oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's going to be full package fun.
Yeah, so special. I can't
Yeah,
wait.
yeah. So an
Hmm.
important piece of it for me will be to let the women there know that it's a very safe, confidential space. So anything that will
Hmm.
be shared in our circle, of course, will stay in our circle. And I know for some, like some women might arrive and not really want other people to know that they're there outside of our circle.
Yes.
So it'll be important too for that confidentiality that we just stick to the people who are in our circle. They know that they're safe. And for some, like I said, this might be a vulnerable experience, but part of it
Hmm.
will be a good grounding into your body and a good grounding into our sort of group atmosphere. And I think you and I are pretty good at allowing people to feel they can trust and settle into it. So looking forward to it.
I'm really looking forward to it as well. Like just to be there like as the space holder, but then to also be
Mhm.
like, I know what it was like to be steam. I can't wait for
Yeah,
you to do it. Like,
yeah, yeah.
uh-huh.
Can I ask you, Julianne, what was your first time? What were you feeling, or thinking,
Hmm.
or?
Yeah, so for me, like I was super curious about it. Like I had heard about it, like I think mainly just from you. I hadn't really heard about it from any other real source before. And so once I seen, like you had told me about following with Steamy Chick, I think her name is on Instagram. You were talking
Yeah.
about this course you were going through, and I was super interested because I've also have had my own experiences with my vagina and those root and sacral chakras. And I just wanted more of a connection to that. Because again, I grew up with the background of being like, wait till you're married to have sex and like cover up your vagina. Like, oh my God, you have your period. Like,
Yeah.
whoa. Like those
Don't let
beliefs. And I'm
anyone
like,
know.
I know. And it's like, oh my gosh. Like, I literally remember, I can say this because it's kind of like something me and my friends still talk about that happened. I was in high school and I was writing an exam and I was wearing a white skirt. And I went to get up and I was like, I just got my period and I'm wearing this skirt and I'm not wearing underwear. So I've raised my hand and we're in a gym. So it's like hundreds of us in not just like a little class, it's like hundreds in the gym. And I raised my hand. And my math teacher came over and she's like, everything okay, Julianne? And I was like, I just got my period and I'm wearing this white skirt. And she was just like, and I'm like, do you have something like a coat I could put around me? Like, it's like I'm coaching her to help me. Whereas like I was helping this adult would be able to help me. Like, so to this day, like me and my friends still laugh about that. Or like Myra, my stepdaughter, I'm like, oh yeah, like I got my period at school once. Like just being more like relaxed and open about it. Like, yeah, you get your period, like that's fine. And just kind of having more of those like empowering conversations. So then I had my appointment with you and I was experiencing I had like bacteria vaginosis before, yeast infections, just some dryness. I was just getting over having H. pylori this summer. So again, lots of other bacteria clearing and going on. And so my session was really great with you. Like you made me feel super comfortable. You explained everything to me before, during the session. And I really loved how during it, you had on like the chanting, like feminine, beautiful music. I'm like, that's so my vibe in general, but also just to like be in a space as someone new who's experiencing that. And I just felt comfortable. Like I didn't feel like, oh, someone's going to barge in the door while I'm doing this, or I didn't feel rushed. I didn't feel uncomfortable. And then I really liked how afterwards, like it was 10 minutes or so, just being able to lie down instead of just like patting dry right away, just kind of letting like the air dry it and just, yeah, like being vulnerable in that safe setting. And then you gave me some herbs and I got to do it at home. And that was beautiful because the herbs are right from you and your garden. And yeah, so it was really a special experience. And now it just has come up more often. Like we were in Saskatoon and the husband and wife we were staying with, like the wife was like, oh yeah, I used to be Steve all the time. And I just started getting back into it. Yeah. And I'm like,
yes,
that's so cool. Like, and I didn't even start the
awesome.
conversation. She just started talking about it. So I'm like, okay, like there's this movement coming up of this new way and just being able to share it. And then my friend on Instagram there, I connected you to, like, so there's more women who are like either hearing about it or just ready for something that maybe is unconventional. That's a form of healing on a different level. So it was great.
Yeah. And I think every woman has one of those stories of, you know, you at the gym and writing your exam in a white skirt and the shame that comes with that. And if we don't have people out there saying words like vagina and normalizing, you know, that we have periods and that there are different things that go on with vaginas at different times. If we don't have people out there saying that, then those women continue to hold that shame. And we hold that in our bodies, a lot of it in our sacral chakras or our wombs or our vaginas. So this event that we're offering and V-steaming in general helps to sort of normalize these words, these body parts, this monthly cycle, this normal thing we have to bring humans into the world and for women's health, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that's a really important piece of it.
I love that. Any other information or like wisdom or anything you'd like to share?
Yeah, I'd love to talk about the benefits of vaginal steaming. So that,
yes, perfect.
Yeah, so if people want to come or if you're curious and you have something you're working with, if you want to know if steaming can help with that, the answer is probably yes.
But I just feel like yes for everything.
I know, right?
If you don't even think you need to heal anything, just yes, you need this because you do need to heal something.
Yeah, and even if it's just to, you know, to create that connection between the heart and the vagina. You know, that helps us to choose partners that feel good for us and feel good for our spirits and our wisdom. And it helps us to know when our bodies feel open to sexual contact and when our bodies are really saying no, but we're not hearing it and doing it anyway. We're going to hold that tension. So things, all PMS symptoms, like the symptoms that I mentioned, and symptoms like headaches associated with your cycle, bloating, pain, blood clots, those things can all be helped with steaming. Menopause symptoms as well, and I emphasize that because a lot of people think the steaming is mostly just if you're menstruating, but it's not necessarily. It can help with hot flashes, it can help with night sweats, vaginal dryness, irritation, mood swings, and other things that may come along with your menopause. And then it can help with things like infections, infertility, which is huge. I mean, there's a lot of research coming through now saying it's helping women who are having a hard time having children. If you get bumps or irritation from waxing, the steaming can help with that. It's also great for postpartum healing. And if you've had any surgeries in that area as well, it's going to help with the scar tissue. So sometimes that scar tissue serves a purpose depending on your surgery, but sometimes the scar tissue is still sort of the inflammatory healing response of the body. So that's something we could connect with if someone was interested in talking about that. But then there's so much more, like you could go on and on, but one of the great things is like it increases stimulation in that area and it increases sensation. So better sex. Better sex, everyone. With your partner and with yourself. Like this is really important stuff. Sexual energy is a powerful energy, and when we embrace that, again, we become more of who we are and we become more powerful beings. So yeah, lots to share there, and I'll talk a bit more about it at our event.
That's perfect. Thank you so much, Natalie. It was so nice talking with you, and I look forward to doing this more often too and talking more about vaginas.
Yes, I love your suggestion of saying it 10 times every day, everyone.
Yes. And then say I love you to yourself 10 more times after you talk about your vagina.
Yes. Get a mirror out and start looking. Start seeing what she looks like. Yeah, because they're beautiful flowers, really.
They are.
All different and unique. So.
Well, thank you so much, Natalie. Also, maybe like if you want to share your like website or Facebook page, I'll also link it in this.
It's Natalie Brew, BREW.com, and I'm on Instagram, natalie.brew, and it's my full name on Facebook, Natalie Brewer.
I love that you're using brew because it's like you're brewing things up.
That's right.
I'm feeling you. I'm feeling it. It's your brew.
Yeah, that's right.
And Natalie's also who makes our flower crowns that I love wearing and sharing. So anyone needs a flower crown, go to Natalie. They are magical.
Yes.
Thank you, Natalie. I love you so much.
Love you too.